And then we have Alfonso Dolce, CEO of Dolce & Gabbana, which is our last interview for the day.
Un video.
We have a video.
Where was this fashion show held? It was in Agrigento, the Temple Valley, the Concordi Valley, Sicily, of course. Well, I wanted to know when. That was 2019. Yes, so we could actually have them. Yes, July 2019. You have always been artists in this type of events, so not being able to do them, well, that's really an issue for you. Well, actually, we were able to have some important events in the same time. This is not like this one, because that's a part of some events that represent the uniqueness of Dolce & Gabbana, and they represent the Italian style and culture. In July this year, we had another event, fashion show devoted to menswear collection at the Humanitas premises, where we had already activated a scientific research activity when COVID was only limited to China. And there we really wanted to stress how research is not only part of a specific product sector, but it's the life of a company. And our collaborations, transversal collaborations, that as a Dolce & Gabbana brand for art and artisanship and research, well, that's true also for medicine. So at the end of June 2020, we might organize this wonderful event that provided visibility to Italy, to Dolce & Gabbana, with a sense of responsibility towards scientific research too, that was very meaningful. Thereafter, we had two more important events in the month of July, August and September. In July, we reopened the ancient theater in Taormina with a specific event and the presentation of a docu-film on the life of Dolce & Gabbana and the strong relationships that Dolce & Gabbana has with Sicily, re-evoking art, history and culture. That was followed by a series of events. An event particularly on three pillars, one devoted to the cinema, one devoted to the history and folklore of Sicily, and the other one devoted to food, to the qualities of the territory from food and wine point of view. So we created some traveling open-air events in Siracusa, Castellammare del Golfo, Caltagirone, Palermo, and we closed this in Domenico Dolce and the Dolce family original village, where we have matched the three worlds that represent a lifestyle. There's no separation between one activity and the other. There's a Barry Center that revolves around a human being with history, culture, art, artisanship, and the way and the will to live, which is quite meaningful. And last but not least, the great event like the one we saw in Agrigento that we organized in Florence on September 2, 3, and 4, with a very important collaboration with Pitti the Tuscany region, the municipality of Florence, and with the value of the territory, with all the history of the Florence and Tuscany artisanship, where we actually held these events with the menswear fashion show in Palazzo Vecchio, wonderful, a menswear collection show at Villa Bardini, and the presentation of all our unique pieces of upper tier watchmaking and jewel making at the ancient perfumery of Santa Maria Novella. We have entitled this event Renaissance and Rebirth as a significant moment of the circumstance and as a need, pleasure, duty we have to look ahead of us. Interesting. But what about abroad? This connection to Sicily and somehow the Italian stereotypes, so very recognizable elements which are typically Italian. What's the perception all around the world? That's my curiosity. Well, for sure, the brands, the Dolce & Gabbana brand reality and origin trace back to the Mediterranean area, to Sicily, to the territory. And we always have that in our heart. It represents our being Italian in the world. And we translate that through very simple, however, focused concepts like the shop windows, discipline and strictness in transmitting the brand DNA through the products, and our way to relate to our markets and end consumers. So we are not selling products, but we are making people experience life experiences. This is the formula that allows us to be unique and excellent enough, and this differentiates a style company from a product company. A very recent experience, which we closed yesterday on November 10, we were protagonists with great satisfaction in China and Shanghai during the expo. That took place from November 5 to November 10. We had an exhibition space of almost 500 square meters, and we brought there our main feature, that is discipline, strictness, the brand DNA, but at the same time we also brought the joyful character that is typical of Sicily. We actually set up this exhibition space with our own characteristics, all those lights that we usually have in all our events and stores, in all our characterizations, and where the focus in this decorated stand booth with all the lights. It was perfectly balanced between art and tradition. We had artisans, artists that represented and painted, in this case, a collection that we devoted to China and to the Silk Way, so to the relationship between Italy and China through a collection of 8 exclusive foulards, scarves. So we had an artist who was live painting on these foulards, but there were also other booths inside that explained how a jewel maker usually works, how a tailor usually works, or a painter as well on a foulard, and several other handmade activities. We also showed how the concept of a brand which is transversal also lives on a different research compared to the core business products. Hence, we also presented our collaboration with the Humanitas, where we could show how we are working on this scientific research. You talked about China. You had a diplomatic accident a couple of years ago. How's the market now? Well, definitely, for sure, we are regaining much ground from the issue we have had. That issue actually strengthened our company culture and image, because we were also protagonists of some cultural journeys there, which we as management had visiting China in its history. We followed some trading paths. For instance, as for this experience, we actually had a written itinerary starting from Xi'an, which represents the cultural roots of China, getting to Beijing, which is the trunk, the most robust, solid part of the Chinese Republic, down to Shanghai, where maybe life is a bit more brisky and joyful, that represents somehow leaves of this very important tree. So we've learned that being international, if a local brand wants to be international, the brand must really get into the details of the culture, getting to know its history, its culture, its story. So you are regaining ground. Have you already gained pre-2018 positions? No, we haven't, because we were much dominating together with some few brands. We were among the top 3 in the sector, but now we are regaining that ground. We still have some path to go. A confirmation for this is that on the first day of the expo opening, we had 37 million likes on the presentation of our own exhibition space and on our communication, which we had shared, and we had over 130 Chinese magazines articles. Let's get back to the company now. I'm very happy that you are here with us today, but I perceive that the company is providing space to communication, not only concerning style and product, but also to the corporate storytelling. Is this a concrete decision? Why did you go for that? Is this a natural evolution? What lies behind that? Well, for sure, this can be a natural evolution. The company has always wanted to communicate through a corporate lifestyle, where the main element for this corporate lifestyle is creativity. Hence, we have always wanted to communicate through creativity and through the most artistic part of the brand's values, less through the product, less by telling ourselves. Because more than telling, we believe in doing. So we wanted to provide our own professionalism, our own contribution to serve our potential customers or those who were interested in getting to know the Dolce & Gabbana brand. As we have already said, also with our comeback to Camera Nazionale della Moda, the 2 designers also wanted to show their contribution to the country system. This is not only being Italian as a brand, so apart from the brand features a concept of communication of this country system, where Italy for us is something that maybe we represent as a brand in the most excellent way outside our own domestic territory. So talking about being Italian, you also go for all these co-branding activities with other manufacturers, which are unique as a strategy within the panorama. How will this idea evolve? Because I believe these promotions, these ideas are gaining ground. Yes, well, the co-branding activity, which consists in selecting excellent Italian products in different product sectors, but mainly we have focused on food, beverage, and entertainment. Well, this is something that is part of our brand DNA. It has always been. If we actually analyze our history, the first collaboration dates to 2001 with the Martini brand, which is an excellent Italian brand in the drink and beverage part of our economy. Why Martini and why later Pasta di Martino? The Fiasconaro Sicilian made panettone or Donna Fugata for wine. We want to share these experiences and share with our customer not only the point of view of the economics and point of view, but the core business in say. So starting from the Martini collaboration dating back to 2001, the Dolce Gabbana lifestyle and the Martini lifestyle are synonyms for la dolce vita, the pleasure of living, for both Martini and the Dolce Gabbana. It's a part of our own culture. It's what we have around us, what surrounds us. We Italians are lucky because we are born in the most beautiful country in the world. So our concept of beauty lies well rooted within us. We enjoy the pleasure of living when we work with ethics, respect, and much professionalism, because we want to donate an upper tier high quality product to share this experience of beauty and excellence. But at the same time, we also experience that in squares, in our museums, and in many other aspects. Where can you buy these products? Well, for sure, these products can be found in our website and in marketplaces supporting our website and in the traditional stores of our partnerships. So there are partnerships. So these partnerships also have an economic value for sure. They originate for promoting experiences. We have an excellent product and we provide an international character to this local product and to the whole company, because with the exception of Smeg and Martini, in other cases, all companies' partners were more niche or family-owned businesses. This provides them more international character, so volumes provide visibility, but also an economic profit. A few figures. What do you think could be the end of the year figure? As I heard before, this year is being quite tough. We all started with figures that quite respect the first phase of this pandemic. Now we are see a new question mark moment, which is still to be defined. As far as we are concerned, our first estimate was closing around -15, and now I think we are reanalyzing the situation, and much will actually depend on the lockdown length, not only in Italy, but of course throughout all Europe. And we have some countries, US, South America, they are not totally reactive in terms of points of sale. So I believe we are going to have to adjust this -15%. I think we are still in process with that. And what's your direct distribution and online distribution weight with this crisis? We're currently 70% of our sales is made by the own DOS, 30% with third-party sales, and 15 of this 30% is made on owned franchising shop-in-shop stores that might be managed by third parties. So we have a single brand sale around 85% and a multi-brand channel around the rest. Will you remain stable in that? Well, yes, we believe that the multi-brand channel is pretty important and paramount. This is important to actually be qualified to work there, because customers must have the possibility to choose a product and select within the widest choice possible. So I believe the multi-brand channel is fundamental, and in the same way it is fundamental that this is done in the most qualified and contemporary way possible as concerns being in line with our consumers' wills. As for e-commerce, the previous year's figures is around 6%. Between this year and the next year, this year we are probably approaching 8 or 9%. These figures are updated depending on the trend. We are a slightly exponential growth of these figures, but we are going definitely to reach 10% within the next year. We were talking about products before. apart from Luxottica and Shiseido for eyewear and cosmetics, beauty, you have everything in-house. How are you organized? Do you have your own factories? How do accessories weight? You are an originally clothing brand. Well, the main characteristic of our group and of our founders is to have a verticalized corporate reality, hence the concept of creativity, engineering, and manufacturing, plus distribution, being an integrated chain within Dolce & Gabbana. So with the exception of the two categories you have just mentioned, eyewear with Luxottica and the world of beauty, in the most general term with the Shiseido, well, the rest, including the latest product categories we've invested on for the past 10 years, so jewels, watch making both for ready-to-wear and the unique pieces, they are all vertical managed by the group. So for each industrial division, for each product category, we have generated industrial divisions that are dedicated to them, dedicated not only because we have them, but dedicated also in the sense of consistent historical character of that product category and the territory. We strongly believe in competencies and territorial districts where excellence, where the local territory and the human capital generate all together that added value that through creativity and artisanship you provide the best of the best. So you have leather working, leather processing in Tuscany. Yes, we have footwear and leather goods in Incisa Valdarno, Tuscany. That was started in 2000, between 1999 and 2000. So quite a young reality, only 20 years, where we have over 400 people who both in the leather goods and small leather goods segment and in the footwear sector for the two genders and also in the line for children's wear, we have the whole development of the collections and part of the internal production, while for other productions we do rely in outsourcing. The same is for our headquarters in Legnano, where we have two more branches out, one in Lonato Pozzolo and the other one in Sarneola di Rubano, which the last one being mostly considered on menswear, ready to wear, but in a very tailor-made style, while the factory in Lonate Pozzolo shows a great balance between tailor making and technology. So we have this industrial reality for all types of knitwear, to embroideries, printing, down to designing and realization of the textile product. So a circular verticalization of different skills within the same reality. My last question, which I have already asked, but I believe that's very important. The COVID pandemics obliged us to review our offers. What are you heading towards? Are you working on style, number of art items, deliveries? Well, first, we must respect our own DNA even more, thus focusing more and more on what belongs to the brand's ethical value and to what is acknowledged by the market to your brand. Hence, more focusing on one side on creative contents and on the other redesigning within the collection structures the shelf life for our items, which is to be longer and which is to be consistent with what we started well before the pandemics and the COVID-19 infection. Talking as Dolce & Gabbana, we cannot talk about separate worlds of fashion, luxury, seasons, carryovers. This experience evolves in a very flowing way, because with fashion you create style, but style does not live without fashion. With style you have creativity that lets you speak with the market through product segmentation and different offers with a timeless item, because when you talk about cashmere sweater, so less fashion, more lifestyle. Well, fashion must remain the hinge, but around this concept revolves, which is more contemporary offer, matching the needs of a more evolved and international consumer who's more dynamic compared to the past. Thank you. Thank you very much for your presence. Thank you.
Vengo qua per i ringraziamenti.
So let's conclude things. I would like to thank, all of you, our partner, everyone listening from home, because unfortunately here we couldn't host anyone. I would like to thank all of our collaborators, everyone who worked at the organization, everyone who works every day to produce editorial content for Pan Bianco, and who worked as if nothing happened in spite of all the uncertainties we had to face. So thank you, and see you next year for the 26th Fashion Summit. Thank you very much.